an impressive group around the table. Lots of experience, lots of, no surprise, lots of experience and lots of working in the community. You're plugged into the community, you're active and motivated to make the community better. So it's just a pleasure being with you this evening, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of this meeting and your work for the coming year. Okay, we've actually started brainstorming items around the table, and we heard, there's some themes that emerged around public safety and homelessness and communication. We'll come back to that when we start the formal brainstorming for the work plan. But before we do that, let's just take a couple minutes and just refresh our memory and our minds here about what is the role and what are the duties of the Neighborhoods Commission, and I'll have Ernest handle this one.
Well, I know for a lot of you did homework as new commissioners, because I heard a lot of you at the Neighborhood Caucus talk about the 4 elements of what your duties and responsibilities fall into as far as providing recommendations to council for policy. You do have 4 issue areas that you are responsible for as commissioners to look at over the course of the next 12 months. You are required to put together a series of recommendations for the budget on an annual basis. And what that simply means as neighborhood representatives throughout the city, you keep yourselves connected to the neighborhood groups and other folks that walk up to you and other elements in your council districts that kind of say, these are the priorities for us as far as what the budget is, whether it's anything from more library funding to more parks and rec community centers, whatever it is that you think you hear from the community, it's your responsibility to come back to the commission and put forth those ideas so that the chair and more likely an ad hoc budget committee can put together a letter that goes to council sometime in the spring so that the mayor and council can look at that. You also have public safety to look at, anything having to do with transportation in the city, as well as looking at elements around code enforcement. The reason that these are part of your responsibilities is that in the original pilot there was a definition put together by council that really looked at where there was a lack of a body to review these things and come back with recommendations. And they focus on these 4 areas as not having a commission that the residents can go to and have input into the process other than a direct city council meeting. So there's value in what you do. Beyond that, there's also and the city attorney talked about this, in terms of what the specifics are, which is the study, review, evaluation, and making recommendations to the council regarding the 4 areas that I mentioned. There are your personal commitment to being an appointed official, which is what all of you are. You were all sworn in today, and you have a commitment that you attend the meetings. There is a provision that says that there are 3 absences that are unexcused in the course of the 10 meetings that Commissioner Polstead talked about. You have 2 meetings times when you don't meet, which is in the summer in July, and in December you won't be meeting. So you have 10 meetings that you attend. You are required to attend all these meetings. The attorney mentioned the fact that if there was illness, a couple of other exceptions, use of business travel and other things are not considered to be excused absences. But having said that, it's also a requirement that if you're not able to attend a meeting, or if you're running late to a meeting or whatever, give me a call and let me know. So when we're talking about where you're no longer on the commission and what's considered to be resignation are what are called unexcused absences. So the time period for this starts not on a calendar year but on a fiscal year. So starting July 1, the clock starts all over again. So you may have missed 2 meetings last year up until June. Those drop off the clock. So starting today, if you're not at a meeting, then your clock towards having what's called a resignation from the commission it starts all over again. So you're all starting fresh. But your responsibility is to get on the phone, send me an email, let me know so I can let the chair know whether or not we're going to be able to achieve a quorum. And if you set, if you have travel or things like that, it's not really going to count against you. It's letting us know that you're not coming. If you don't let us know you're not coming, that's considered to be an unexcused absence. And unfortunately, commissioners will not let me know, but I do keep an account of when you call, when you don't. So make it a moment's notice if you know you're not going to be able to come, to let me know so the chair and we know whether or not we're going to be able to achieve a quorum. This is not a responsibility that is in any bylaws or anything, but we do, as a commission, expect you to keep in contact with your district. That means attending neighborhood group meetings, attending meetings where you have a chance to listen to the pulse of your community. Because part of the reason you're selected is because you all stated to the people that selected you that you were involved in your community and that you would be a good conduit to bring back to this commission the concerns, the successes in your community, so this commission can go ahead and provide valuable input to the council of any policy recommendations that they do. So that's an unwritten expectation of you as commissioners. All of you that have been on the commission before have worked in one way or another to fulfill that obligation. So you're thanked very much by staff, because that helps us in developing the recommendations that you put forward to council. We also expect that if we send you materials that in advance, that you read them and be thoughtful as you come forward to me and be prepared, because I'm going to make, this group has met for many years from 6:30 to 9. With the passage of 0.4, we're trying to standardize all the commissions so that there's more equity in terms of how they meet. So I'm making this announcement, which I've talked to the, hopefully the chair and the vice chair, I know I talked to the vice chair, that starting in September, we're actually going to be moving the schedule to 6 to 8, because most commissions meet from 6 to 8. So we want to standardize this and bring this commission into the realm of equity with all the other boards and commissions. So it'll, instead of 2.5 hours, it'll be 2 hours. And so preparation before you get to a meeting will be important, and as staff will commit to bring materials to you before so that you have a chance to study them. So just be an awareness that we'll make those changes, and I've talked to some of you about that, so that we become a more standard commission, and of the 30 that are out there. I think those are the big highlights as far as your duties and responsibilities as commissioners. And I'd like to once again welcome everybody on board. I do have one little housekeeping rule before I move off this, Sean. Commissioner Espinoza, you came late, and I believe you weren't sworn in for your new term. So unfortunately, you will not be able to vote on any recommendations this evening. Yeah. The clerk did bring your paperwork that you need to sign. So just before the next meeting, your clock is not ticking yet because you're not sworn in yet. So make sure that you make arrangements with the clerk's office to set up an appointment to get sworn in so you can participate fully in the next meeting.
Sure. No problem.
And we waited, and unfortunately, I think you missed her by 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
No problem.
All right, so just your appointment, Mr. Chair. So, Sean, I'm done with that section.
Very good. Thank you.